The Giants' season is over. I don't know if you heard. Sure, they've got 10 games left. They could win them all and probably still won't end up in the playoffs. As, once again, Gabe Kapler, the manager of the Giants. This is not Gabe Yapler. This is Gabe Kapler.
Yeah, I mean, obviously these were must-win games. And, going back several games, those were also must-win games. And now the math is not on our side. And, every game is one that we have to win.
Yeah, although, again, it's a funny quote. I know I'm not going to try to hold him up to this one, but those were must-wins, and these were must-wins.
Yeah.
And we didn't win them, so we now need to win. No, they were must-wins, and you didn't win them.
Yeah.
You must win them. You didn't.
I'm going to give him a pass, even though the must-win is something that I'm a stickler for the actual must-win.
Listen, play to the bell, obviously. You play to the buzzer. I don't care what you do, who you are.
Miami is losing to the Mets.
That's exciting.
That's a team that the Giants would have to climb over in any scenario.
Yep.
And the Cubs are now underway at home against Pittsburgh in night baseball. So there are games that maybe are breaking their way in terms of, so you're saying there's a chance baseball, and we can wake up tomorrow and the Giants might only be, I guess they could be just 3 back of the Cubs. If the Cubs lose, 3 back with 10 to go.
The Cubs are in the middle of a homestand, which is 3 with Pittsburgh and 3 with Colorado. They ain't losing many of those games.
Okay.
They might lose one.
Yeah.
So, and they do. They end with a very, very difficult 6-game road trip at Atlanta, at Milwaukee for 3-3. I don't even know how hard those teams are going to be playing, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, that's funny in terms of the Dodgers, too, because the Giants have the Dodgers, and you say, oh, how hard will the Dodgers even be playing? I mean, Dodgers, I guess, have a shot still at the number 1 overall seed.
Do they?
Yeah, they're sitting.
How many back?
They're only 3 back of Atlanta right now.
Is that for real?
Yeah, they're 2 back in the loss column. So they're not.
No, their record was that good.
Yeah, Atlanta's played 2 more games. Dodgers still have 12 games to go. They're only 2 back in the loss column. So
Atlanta's 4-6 in their last 10. They're getting wobbly.
Dodgers definitely, I think, will still be chasing, and even if they're not going to roll over for the Giants.
Yeah, it feels like a year where the NLCS should be the Braves and the Dodgers. They're so set apart from everyone else. But yeah, we'll see. You play to the buzzer, but they had to win a bunch of these games. They won almost none of them. The only one they won was a laughable, almost blew a 9-run lead game. So it was unserious baseball. And it leaves us here wondering what to do next. And I know that a lot of the fan base is already there. I'm a part of the fan base that's not there yet, but nobody's happy. And when I say there, I'm talking obviously about a regime change. I don't think it's going to happen. I'd also add, I don't think it should. I don't think it should happen now. I don't think that puts them in an advantageous position. I don't have some exec or manager out there that I'm just like foaming at the mouth to get in here to run the Giants. I think that the farm system is a lot better, and I want to now see under this regime what Kyle Harrison and Marco Luciano and Luis Matos and we'll see. Does Wiz and Hunt come up next year? I want that group to get here with this regime, give the regime also this free agency to see if you can adjust, evolve, read, react. I think a lot of what they tried to do is right, but they have not effectively done it. And then some of what they have tried to do is wrong. And that has happened. I want to see them adjust. It's probably the right thing to do. It's probably what's going to happen. But everyone agrees the clock is now ticking. There's certainly there's no contract extension for anybody if the Giants don't, make the playoffs next year? Is that the line?
I think it's better than that. I think the line is higher than that because
interesting.
I think it's like make the playoffs the way Philadelphia is making the playoffs. Philadelphia is
What does that mean? The way that they're doing it.
Be the best team in the wild card, and Philadelphia is going to end up winning 90-something games.
They're 83-69.
Right. So Philadelphia probably is going to win 90 or damn near 90. They've got 10 games left to go. If they go 6-4, that's 89 wins. They're
only 2.5 ahead of Arizona.
But they've been comfortably in the wild card spot for the majority of the second half, and they've been a good team, and they felt and smelt like a playoff team.
Absolutely.
So that to me is where the bar is.
I wonder if the bar even has to do with playoffs. I wonder. Like, if I'm assessing these guys in this regime, to me it's much more abstract. Like,
I think it's both, but I like where you're going.
Yeah, you got to get your fans back.
Right.
I don't know how you do it. I don't know. Is it as simple as like an Ohtani or someone? Is it a lesser than, but who's a good player? A Bellinger? Is it just the young guys all clicked? Luciano comes up and hits 26 bombs. I don't know what the answer is.
I think it's a collection of all that, Mark.
Yeah, but
because
you got to go get the fan. You got to be interesting next year.
Yes, and I think a big part of it, and I've heard this from a number of callers, and we'll go to the phones again momentarily, but a lot of fans talk about having a lineup where you can go, if the Giants play at 6:40 tonight, 7 or 8 of the 9 guys who are going to be out there. Those are your guys. You've got 9 guys, 7 guys, 8 guys in your regular lineup that you can bank on. Now, I know righty, lefty, and all the rest of it. Occasionally, you'll have some platoons, but have a team that is good enough to where you got guys. And this year, how many of those guys do you really have where, you're going to be out there playing? J.D. Davis, we had him on the show, I think it was last week, terrific interview. He leads the team in plate appearances and games played. He's played a ton. Lamont Wade, when healthy, he's been your first baseman. Tyro, when healthy, has been your second baseman. Outside of that, I know Patrick Bailey has been the catcher.
Yeah. You've
kind of piecemealed the rest of it, and that, I think, is a big turnoff to the fans.
Well, I agree. The hard part for the Giants, and you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMC FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. You mentioned a bunch of those guys, and it's almost like this ended up being the answer from Farhan Zaidi at the trade deadline, and I kind of tended to agree with him. He was like, could we have made trades? Yes. Would those players have effectively upgraded who we already had at the position? We didn't think so. And I kind of agree with him. The problem is, when you go spot by spot, you mentioned a J.D. Davis or a Lamont Wade or a Tyro Estrada. On a person-by-person basis, I'm like, that's an acceptable answer for that position. Tyro Estrada is a completely acceptable answer for second base. What's not acceptable is when he's your middle-of-the-order best player.
Right.
So I can accept a Tyro, a JD, a Yaz, even some sort of is it a Conforto-Haniger split, certainly a Patrick Bailey. I can accept all of those guys if there's 2 other hitters, like if Bellinger is in center field, or if Luciano comes up and plays short next year and he's battling for Rookie of the Year, okay? And Harrison is absolutely, he's striking out every other batter. If we're going to do that, then some of the players you do have are acceptable. But you got guys who are moonlighting in the 3 and 4 spot every other night. That's not their spot. That's not their spot. They're not cornerstone players.
Right. And that is, I think, it speaks to the excitement argument as well as just the baseball argument, because you don't have that 3, 4, 5, 3 guys who you can look at and say, we want them to play 155 games, and these 3 guys are going to be tough outs night in and night out. The whole thing is kind of piecemealed, where you look at your 3-hitter and it might be Wilmer, who had a pretty good year. It might be, Conforto. Heck, A.J. Pollock batted 3rd in his short stint here. You found a guy off Seattle's scrap heap. You got him in here for absolutely nothing, and he immediately became your number 3 hitter. That's a problem. That's a major problem.
No doubt. Let's go to Sean in Oakland. Hey, Sean. You're on with Willard and Dibs. What's up?
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. So, I'm piggybacking what y'all saying about 3 or 4 guys that people could, either relate to or whatever. You remember back in the day, people knew Will Clark, Matt Williams, Robbie Thompson, and you go to the park, I want to hit like Will Clark and Kevin Mitchell and Candy Maldonado and all these guys. And even in Oakland, you had your Dave Stewarts or your Jose Canseco's, your Mark McGuire, people that you know that's going to be, you trying to be a crowd favorite or come over there and see them and bring the crowd in, and you don't have that no more. Baseball is not even fun no more in the Bay Area, period. It's just a cesspool. The Giants did what they did a few years ago, going to the World Series and doing all this other stuff, winning so many games and stuff. But now it's like, do you remember the players? You don't remember so many people like you did back in the day. I still remember these guys, and I'm in my 47 now, and I still remember Mark McGwire and Jose Canseco and Mike Gallego and all them. You don't have no guy that you could just cling to and just ride it out for the years you've grown up and attract these kids to try to go to the park and be them. It's not that no more. It's like that's all a financial thing now, and it's boring.
Well, right. Yeah, Sean, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know if this is like an unsatisfying answer, the way to say it. I don't know how to fix it. I think everybody knows what the fix is.
Sure.
But nobody knows how to do it. My hope is that Farhan Zaidi and other people in the organization do.
Yeah.
Because we all are thinking the exact same thing. Shasky was just texting even. So, Joe, if you're listening, what's up? And he makes some very solid points. It's a lot of the stuff that a lot of people are thinking. And he said they need a young, vibrant guy in the dugout. My response was, or three. But how do you just do that?
Right.
Okay, we need a vibrant guy who goes and hits 320 with 27 home runs and has a personality and he's interesting. It's like the Giants they're not shopping this offseason for good baseball players. They're doing job interviews. And they've got this list of things like qualifications. And it goes beyond being good at baseball. You've got to go capture a fan base. Whew. It's a hell of an assignment.
Especially when you look at this free agent class, and I'm looking at the list right now just from Spotrac or Spot Rack or however you want to say it. We always go back and forth. But You got Shohei Ohtani, 29 years of age, top of the list. And then it's a sea of like questionable maybes. Javier Baez, who's had a bad... I mean...
He's no good anymore.
He's had a bad year, and he's trending down.
I will tell you, Bellinger is interesting to me. I would love to see Cody Bellinger on the Giants next year.
Yeah, 28 years old, and he's going to make a ton of money, but money should not be the object. And he's not exactly super outgoing, electric personality, but he's a name that people know, and he's a terrific player. And he, I think, is the start in terms of what you said. Shasky says they need a young, vibrant, and you said, how about three? Well, if it's Bellinger and a couple of other good, solid veteran baseball players, position players, because I think your pitching staff, unfortunately, is pretty much set. You have guys that you like, and you have other guys you're landlocked on.
You hope. I actually would say your pitching staff is set, you hope. The bullpen, I kind of like. I think there's some tweaking that needs to happen there.
You got Webb, Cobb, and Harrison, and then you've got a collection of these guys who you already signed and you're kind of stuck with.
Well, you hope Harrison is ready to rock and roll as a cornerstone piece of your rotation next year. Yes, Webb. Yes, they can activate, or pick up the option on Cobb. Where are Stripling and Manaea in this conversation? I know that nobody wants to hear that, but Stripling was this guy's a good pitcher last year. I don't know what happened this year. I don't know if it's health related. I don't know what his relationship is with this team. He doesn't seem very happy, but he's also already said that he has to opt in. He can't opt out. He's not going to be worth half that on the open market.
They both are on the hook for $15 million.
Right.
So they're both coming back at 15.
Manaea feels less certain, but I hear you.
I mean, is he getting 15 out there?
I don't know what he wants to do. I don't know. That just feels less certain. Stripling has basically already said it.
You got Haniger and Conforto for another year apiece.
Well, Haniger for sure. 2 more years.
Haniger, he's got a player option for 2025, which is $15.5 million.
Yeah.
And if things continue on this trajectory, he's exercising that option.
And Conforto, what? Probable, right?
He's $18 million next year.
But he's got to pick it up. That's his option. That's his option.
And he's been injured and in and out, so I would imagine he picks it up.
Most likely.
Risky. You'd want to be healthier next year and be able to go out as a free agent after that. I just think about the pitching, and it feels like the pitching staff, They've got some arms that they like, and then they're kind of stuck with some other guys.
Well,
it's the hitters that they're going to go out there and look for.
This is the thing, and this is why I would love to see the Giants get a little bit more active in the trade market. First of all, you've got players who are either ARB guys or under contract, and you're going to have to make space. Like, what if I said, hey, go sign Cody Bellinger? And the Giants are like, okay, so we've got Yaz, Slater, Matos, Conforto, Haniger. Like, we've got like 12 outfielders already. You want us to go sign another outfielder? Well, first off, yes, I do. Okay, so what do you do with all those other guys who are all under contract, and some of them very cheaply, and some of them have been pretty good? Like Matos is a young player you want to get involved. Yaz has actually been pretty good this year.
2 more ARBs on Yaz.
Yeah, like you're not going to just dump him. You can't cut him. So I would, and then the other aspect is you've got free agents who largely, and I wonder if Bellinger's one of them, getting a left-handed power hitter to come to Oracle Park has proven to be very, very difficult. I don't know if he wants to come to Oracle Park. So you got to get more active in the trade market. So the Padres want to trade Juan Soto. Let's talk. You know what I mean? Like you got to make some people come here instead of asking them to come here.
That's a great point, because if you look at free agents and, Shohei Ohtani, we can spend all offseason dreaming and pleading, and you and I can go to his hometown and try to beat the drum. And
a little longer of a trip.
I don't know if the budget's going to allow that one. We're 0 for 1 on hometown visits, but
we are.
I like our chances this time around. But other than Shohei Ohtani, it's not a who's who of hitters. Charlie Blackmon's out there, 37 years old.
God.
Joey Votto is 40. Jock, we already mentioned Yasmani Grandal. You have a catcher, and he's 35. Evan Longoria is going to be out there, and he's 38. I'm just saying, the names that are on this list are either old guys who were once good or middle-aged guys who have suddenly hit the skids.
You know what I love about Bellinger? Everyone's going to look at his hitting stats and Dodger uniform and all that stuff in his past. Cody Bellinger, if you're talking about a team that cannot catch and cannot run, Cody Bellinger. I know you're going to focus on his offense. My God, can the Giants get somebody who can run, and preferably without pulling a hammy?
Oh, jeez.
I mean, all these double plays, you see guys who chop the ball to third base, and they turn 2, and you're like, God, he barely got into the television screen, let alone beat it out at first. They are the slowest, least athletic team in the game, and they vowed last offseason to change that, and they didn't.
Right.
And I know they tried, but they didn't.
Yeah, and maybe with some of the youth coming up next year, they do get faster just by age.
Yeah.
2 more names before we go back to the phones. One you're going to love, and the other one I'm going to make you, things that make you go, Teoscar Hernandez is a free agent. You loved him.
Yep.
You loved him at the deadline.
That was who I wanted at the deadline.
He'll be 31, and Get That Out of the Ocean is a free agent. Max Muncy.
Oh, God.
At 33. Are you...
Oh, crap. That's something he would totally do.
And you know what? He's a guy who can hit 40 bomb skis.
Yeah, except for what was his average this year?
I'll check, but
was it above 130? I mean, he's not... Like, he was the problem with the Giants fans is they look at Muncy and think he homers every time, and it's only when he's here.
He hit 210.
Ugh.
35 homers.
I get it.
And 101 ribby, dibbies.
It's because his teammates are always on base.
35 home runs.
Okay.
That's Wilmer plus Jock.
Okay.
I'm asking you.
Pass.
Wow. Beggars can't be choosers.
Well, no, but I'm not begging.
A lot of, you think McCovey Cove Dave wants him here?
Yes.
He's fishing a lot of balls out of the ocean.
We're asking for more athletic and younger. I do not believe Max Muncy is your answer.
I'm asking for excitement.
Okay.
I'm asking for some pop and some sizzle.
I take Cody Bellinger over Max Muncy. And that's what I would say.
Matt Chapman is a free agent.
Okay.
And, I mean, you could use a third baseman.
You could use anything.
He's 30. And, Rhys Hoskins. I mean, Rhys Hoskins, good player, but